On the last episode, I talked about the question I asked myself about what porn actually is. And today I want to address what my biggest fears are and how they impact my day to day decisions. Because quitting porn transformed into this wavering flag I carry around, feeling proud that I overcame the addiction. But this makes me wonder what it is that I fear now. Prior to quitting porn on October 10th last year, my biggest fear was living as an addict, dependent on that dopamine release from the screen once or twice a day, never finding a way out, and never stopping the lies. Maybe the actual fear was living a life feeling ashamed among my people. And I know some of my friends still watch porn, but I don't really know how they feel about it or to what extent they need it. I mentioned this again because deep inside, being addicted to porn made me feel less of a man to some extent. And I couldn't control my emotions and passions, and I felt uncomfortable around women. I couldn't connect with them as I do now, not only in a romantic sense, but in any situation. I would panic being surrounded by women, which is so sad. I want to have normal conversations with women without sexualizing them. And it has been hard because I was so used to seeing women that way due to my addiction that now I'm constantly learning to see women as humans as it should be. And of course, I still find women attractive, but I need to set boundaries within my brain to keep my sanity. A fear I have is not being capable of achieving the goal of not sexualizing women I find attractive all the time. This is the price I'm currently paying for being addicted to porn for so long, and I'm okay with it taking time to heal. My brain, I mean. This leads me to what I've been discovering with the one I fell in love with not that long ago. I want to become a better version of myself because of me, but also because of her. And this means I now have two people I won't let down, myself and her. This gives me a sense of purpose. And it feels nice to find someone who adds so much to my life after I started this process of recovery. My biggest fear is to let myself down, honestly. And now that I'm free of addictions, there are maybe a day or two where I question if there is something I fear as much as I used to fear being addicted to porn for the rest of my life. And I guess there is not anything at the moment because for the first time in my life, I can say that the most important factor is my well being. I'm learning to listen to myself deeply enough to address things that don't add value to my life faster than I used to, letting me cut those roots before it's too late. This is the biggest lesson of quitting porn, being capable of addressing anything that harms my well being in time, not letting it compound and destroy me over time without taking action to fix the problem. This new mindset extrapolates to any area of my life. For example, I haven't had an injury in a long time. And believe me, I used to get hurt every other month, sometimes even every other week. Overall, I'm becoming more conscious of my life, constantly looking for ways to improve without getting the huge scars I used to. Getting injured, for instance, would drown me and make me so sad and frustrated that I wouldn't care about anything else because I felt useless. I love to play soccer. It's my thing over anything else. And not being able to play for almost 2 years was sad. It was really bad. My favorite sport, the thing I love to do no matter my mood, And yet my body was not letting me do it. I even thought I would never play again. But learning to listen to my mind and body has let me connect on a deeper level with myself. I used to think that body and mind were two different things, but now I understand that we are our mind and body. At the same time, there's no such thing as body and mind as two different components of life. It's mind and body built in together. There's no actual separation. And that has allowed me to heal both mentally and physically. What I love doing here is sharing what has worked for me without trying to impose my mindset on anyone. We all need to screw things up and hit rock bottom sometimes to wake up and take action toward a better life. My rock bottom was the accident I had watching porn while driving. We all face different problems and demons inside our heads, leading us on different paths that harm us. But in the end, I am convinced everyone is trying, consciously or unconsciously, to better themselves, no matter your background, who your parents are, what city you were born in. We all struggle and often don't know how to make things work or get out of the rabbit hole that hurts so bad. We all have different fears and self doubt. The extent to which we can use that as fuel to boost our progress varies. We are so many people on this planet, and it might be true someone is struggling more than me, and someone would love to have what I have, but the same happens to me. The same happens to those I look up to. And I also learned not to measure who suffers more or who struggles more or who has a harder path to walk. I don't care about that anymore because trying to define fear, struggle, or pain is subjective. We all feel these things differently. We all fear different things, struggle with different issues, and feel pain in many different ways. And so instead of thinking less of my problems compared to someone else struggling more from my perspective, or assuming those I look up to don't struggle or suffer as I do, I understand that we are more alike than we think. Despite being so many people, we are so similar. People are people. No matter the color, race, sex, whatever, people are people. Here in LA, in Guatemala, in China. And one of the things I value most nowadays is to understand and respect anyone because I will never know what that person who, for instance, yelled at me at the light was going through before getting in his car. Since I realized that people struggle just as I do, I understand that what one person might do or say to me has more to do with them than me. It's not personal most of the time. If I have learned one thing in these past few years, it is that nothing is personal. People act for their own reasons, not to hurt me. If I find myself getting hurt by someone, it has more to do with me than with that person. Because if it hurts, it means it might be true. They might be right. My anger proves them right. And that is another fear I have, feeling attacked or hurt by someone's actions because they might be right about something I haven't noticed about myself. And at the same time, these moments can be opportunities for growth. If someone says something to me and I feel attacked and hurt, I'd rather analyze it and see if they are right. Look for an answer and correct it. If it hurts, it has more to do with me than with whoever said it, allowing me to grow using someone else's perspective on me. This is a better way to view things, I think, rather than getting angry and blocking out whatever has been said. And last but not least, another fear I have is letting my dad down. He is such a good dad that I really value what he says about me. And now I'm in an interesting phase where I'm betting on myself, and I often don't believe in myself, but I trust my gut enough to keep trying and prove myself wrong. There's this underlying fear of not hitting it big and letting my dad down. I took a risk and I don't know if it will pay off. Letting my dad down would hurt more than letting myself down. I'm certain of that. And at the same time, my dad has proven to me that no matter the risks I take, he'll always be there for me, which makes me feel lucky. I don't know what he really thinks of me, and there is no way to read his mind and know if he thinks I am risking too much, but I believe he trusts me. Why? I have no idea. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's his desire to see me do well. Maybe he just needs to validate his role as a dad, seeing me succeed. I don't know what he might think, but it feels good to have him. And even though we live so far apart, 3,000 miles away, every time I talk to him, I can feel he's right next to me. And that also gives me purpose to make it worth living so far away and not seeing him, to not let him down before it is too late, because we are getting older and time passes so quickly that I look forward to the moment when all this time spent apart will seem like nothing, laughing next to each other, hugging, and enjoying our time together as we used to before I moved out of my country. That is my biggest fear, to let my dad down. That's it. Yo soy Bruno, and I'll see you in the next one.